Okay, today we're playing a game on Route 66, we are in the Gold SR range, and we will be playing Orisa the entire way through. And we're attacking first, so let's start the game. And we've got a very perfectly square reticle. It's a very novel shape. I've never seen someone using a perfectly square one before. So there's a Sombra on the enemy team, which is very inconsiderate of them, frankly, though we're not as bothered on Orisa as we could be on some other heroes. Zenyatta's dead. Hammond's, trying to, push people towards us vaguely. I think that's the intention, anyway. Genji's all on us right now, but he's, overextending. He dashed through us and then, didn't kill us, so he's pretty much fucked at that point. Hammond got hacked in the middle of the enemy team, so he gets to fucking die for that one. And at this point, we've lost both our DPS and Hammond. We want to just be, backing out, because this fight's done. Granted, it's hard to back out on Route 66, usually, because you've got to go down the long highway back to the spawn, but Hammond dead, both DPS dead, it's over. It's done, unfortunately. So our whole team, well, not our whole team, because we don't care, but most of our team is generally pretty fucked if Sombra gets to them, so that's going to be, their problem to deal with. As we can see, Tracer just got punched to death by Sombra, so she was probably sad over there. Genji will also be very sad if he gets hacked, and Hammond is one of the saddest boys of them all when he gets hacked. So, Sombra, she's looking to have a good game, all things considered. Do we need to replace the shield right there? I feel like that was still pretty healthy when we replaced it. Yeah, that's still pretty healthy. If we put it in a slightly better angle, but, not enough to justify, replacing the shield right there. We would have been justified, moving it more up. We put it, in, the same spot at 700 health. Not great shield efficiency. Genji went in with Nano Blade and got hacked while he was in there, but, he did, enough. It was an adequate Dragon Blade. And that's all you can really ask for from those Genji players. So there's a Reinhardt on our team as well. Now, this simplifies things for us greatly, because now, well, Reinhardt can be the main tank, and we can just kind of, put our shield down and do stuff. And play more like an off-tank, Reinhardt being a slightly better main tank than Orisa is. So we got the bongo, just put the bongo down right now. It's a little bit of an awkward angle, because our teammates do need to get, in the enemy team, and given where we're pressing in currently, I'm expecting the enemy team to go around this corner pretty soon. So, and this bongo here is going to, get cut off real soon, because that's his line of sight to the corner. I would rather, if we're going to put the bongo down, just based off, how this is going, I'm not bothered we put the bongo down. You don't have to be super conservative with how you use the bongo. I'd rather just, walk over here a little bit, put it down, more here. We've got the shield up, so we can put a fresh shield in front of it as well over there. And then it would have a better line of sight going around the corner, which is, in all likelihood, where the fight is going to progress in the next few seconds. It's fine for us, we're ranged, so we get to stand in line of sight of it, no problem, but our shorter range people will be a little upset about it. So Genji came in and killed a bunch of people. We captured the checkpoint, though, so, who gives a fuck? They can do whatever they want to us right now. I don't care, dude. We captured the checkpoint. Try doing that before we capture the checkpoint. Then I'll be upset about it. I just heard a very big sigh right there. It's alright. We captured the checkpoint. It doesn't matter if we die anymore, because, look, we're back. It's all good. They might have gotten, a bit of ult charge off of it, but, such is life. Medicine have ult? What does that mean? What? Who's medicine? Did we push tab and see, what their team names are? Who's medicine? We have not pushed tab. We'll have to keep track on that. I'm not sure who medicine is exactly. Medicine could be a few people. So Hammond's. Reinhardt changed back to Hammond again. How depressing. He has to have been reasonably close to having Earth Shatter by that point as well. A full fight happened. Their Sombra's still there. We just got hacked. So. Whatever. Wait, no. There is a Reinhardt. I saw Hammond die in the kill feed. Was that their Reinhardt? Am I stupid? I might be stupid. I'm frequently stupid. Yes, he changed back to Hammond. I mistook their Reinhardt for our Reinhardt. I'm stupid. We did have a Reinhardt, though. And then he changed. And now he's gonna get hacked and be sad repeatedly. We captured the first checkpoint, and he's like, alright. That's enough being serious for now. It's time to break out the fun again. Then he rolls in, gets hacked. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. God damn it. I thought she'd be nice now. Fuck, I forgot. Who's medicine? Back up, back up. We did push tab. Who's medicine? I immediately forgot to keep track. Come on, YouTube. Did we push tab here? No, we gotta go back further. Leave me alone. There it was. Who's medicine? No one on their team is named Medicine? Okay, I just keep hearing this big sound. No, it's Zenyatta. Zenyatta is medicine. I couldn't see it through the fire. Okay. Fair enough. Of Moira Zenyatta, I would have expected Moira to be named Medicine, but for Moira, just like the medic said, the hurting is more fulfilling than the healing. Alright, anyway, what a disaster. Alright, so we're back now. Hammond's here, unfortunately. You know, we'll watch him roll in and die in the near future. Oh, look, look, what a shock. He's been hacked in front of the badman again. What a startling change of pace. I'm sorry, I punched the table. So I've gone back here. It hit the sign. I was going back, I was like, this is not good shield placement, but it hit the sign. That was probably not intentional. So now we don't have the shield for a little while. Unfortunate, but it's okay. Hammer's getting bullied over there. So he's successfully drawing aggro from us right now. It ended up being good that we used Fortify right there because we got hacked. So, yeah. It wasn't a great time to use Fortify because it didn't look like they were pressing into us right there and we were like line of sighting them behind the payload. So I would have rather saved Fortify for when they were like pressing in on us a little bit more. But in hindsight, it ended up being good because we got hacked, so we wouldn't have been able to use Fortify anyway. But at the time, it didn't look like they were going to press in on us that much yet. Anyway, so miraculously enough, we actually still won that team fight. Hooray, we've got the bongo ready again. I keep meaning to like look at how we're using Halt, but I keep getting distracted. Because I'm a very simple man, okay? Look, leave me alone. I'm not so sick anymore, so now, like, I've got no excuse. This is just me being stupid at this point. So I'm not crazy about what we did with the bongo. It ended up kind of being fine, because, like, hidden in Dragon Strike. We, like, put the bongo down, and then, like, immediately left it behind to put a shield over here. So the bongo is just in the middle of the street completely by itself right now, which is very scary for our precious child. But at the same time, it didn't really look like we were going to need to use the bongo anyway. Like, things were going pretty well by that point. I'm not really bothered about using the bongo and it being, like, unnecessary, because it's one of those ults where you don't need to be, like, super careful with how you use it, you know? It's not like a graviton or anything like that, but by the point where we looked at put it down, it was already looking pretty good. I don't think we needed to use the bongo on that team fight. I'm pretty sure we could have saved it. Whatever, it's the bongo. But just like leaving it in the middle of the street, you know, it's very easy enough to break the bongo. We don't need to make it easier for him. So I think we were just scared for Mercy right there. Just kind of like chucked the shield down in front of her, which is fair enough. Where's Halt? What do we use Halt for? Because I now want to hold this boy. We just like threw we saw Mercy discorded in front of us, and we were just like, oh shit, push all our buttons. Now we don't have Halt to... he's dead anyway. I was gonna say we don't have Halt to pull Hammond back right here, but he got hooked back instead, which is a more violent version of Halt. Sombra's behind us. Sombra's gone now. She'll be back, though. Bamboob. Good team name right there. Team name. Good username right there. Bamboob would also be a good team name. Who left? Who left them? Oh, nice slow motion right there. Who left them? It was one of their tanks. That's pretty bad, you know. That's it's a pretty bad person to lose. At least the guy's playing Reinhardt, right? It's not like they're now out here with just Roadhog or anything, but that's not great for them. Here's Sombra again. Sombra's dead now, so that's been resolved. So, you know, because we're playing Orisa, it is easy for us to, like, repeatedly interrupt Sombra's hack, so we do want to try and, like, keep our eyes out for her as much as possible, but, like, did Sombra just emp? I was scratching my eye. I'm sorry. Like, did I just see Sombra Emp for that? Come on, YouTube. Jesus Christ. Trillions of dollars. Yep, she emped right there. Oh, she did hit somebody. I was like, alright, she didn't even hit anybody. No, somebody's over there. So, he's sad. But we've, like, well and truly lost the team fight at that point. So, great news for us. Sombra just wasted Emp. So, Genji's all up on us right now. It did start getting pretty spooky in here. Because I went back too far for this one. We're, like, pretty low fighting this guy. We do make it slightly harder for him to headshot us if we turn away from him, but, like, Orisa's still pretty easy to headshot, so it's not as big of a deal as if we were playing Roadhog, but, like, sometimes turning your back on somebody like that might make you live, just because suddenly your head hitbox is like your horse, so it suddenly changed orientation fairly sharply, but Orisa's head is still pretty fucking big, so it doesn't save you often, but occasionally it'll save you in that situation. We lived regardless, so, but it's not as big of a deal with, like, Roadhog being built the way he is. Employing strategic use of Roadhog's ass is very important. Just pulled one of the keys off my keyboard right there, because I almost dropped it, so that's great. It's the back key, so I'll put that one back on later, because if I push back on that, down on that one right now, we're going to go back by like 20 minutes, and we don't want to do that, do we? So, I don't think their man comes back. It doesn't exactly look good, given the amount of time left on the timeline. So our teammates are coming to stand over here, and we weren't particularly happy about it. I just heard the big sigh again. Unfortunately, if your team's doing stupid stuff, you have to kind of, like, come and do stupid stuff with them. Ideally, we do get to stand on top of the gas station, but, people. Life is hard sometimes. Yeah, using Halt again. I'm trying to look for Halt because the email specifically mentioned Halt. Like, to be honest with you, I haven't been, like, particularly upset with it. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you want to do, like, that as much as you can, where you, like, throw it over the enemy team. But, like, in this game, we've been using Halt a lot to try and, like, stop flankers, which, like, right there, like, that's a really good use of Halt, because that might have actually just saved Mercy's life. Maybe not. She put some swing on that. There's definitely universes where that Halt saved Mercy. So, if you're stopping flankers from, like, bullying people with Halt, it doesn't really matter so much how you use Halt. You're just trying to get the person off of them. Generally speaking, you want to aim it higher than this, because, like, right here we're just aiming it, like, straight at the ground. Ideally, we'd aim it a little bit differently, where we aim it instead of right at the ground. That's a bad color for that right there. I can't see fucking anything on that one. What's gonna stand out? Maybe just this. Yeah, that works. Instead of aiming down, like, here, it's better if we aim more, like, up here or, like, up here. Because then, I mean, we did it a second ago, so I assume we understand the theory that you just elongate the crowd control a little bit more, because if you drop them right here, they're on the ground, they're slow, but, like, whatever, they can move around still. If you pull them in the air, they then have to fall to the ground again before they can start moving anywhere, so it elongates the crowd control a little bit more. Also makes it easier for people like Roadhog to, like, hook them and stuff like that, but... ideally you don't aim it, like, straight at the ground. You aim it up in the air so they have to fall before they can move again. Unless they've got some kind of movement ability, in which case they don't care. They can use those while they're in the air, generally, but that's the idea anyway. But we've been using Halt a lot in this game to stop flankers, and in that case, you don't worry so much about if you're gonna make them fall to the ground. You worry about, like, stopping the bad man from stabbing Mercy. We've got, like, higher tier things to worry about at that point, the hierarchy of needs. Not being stabbed is a fairly fundamental pillar on that, really. So at this point, it's going to be really hard for them, given that they are down some teammates at this point. They're missing one of their tanks, and who is their tank they're playing this round? Orisa. They've had Orisa. Had to think about it, so, they haven't been doing too much, but I'm also just kind of stupid, so at the same time. So we've got the bongo. We can just kind of put the bongo down kind of whenever, really. Like, We want to put it down like as early in the fights as possible. This is fair enough. Here comes Lucio. He wants it. He doesn't want it quite that badly, though. He was really thinking that he wanted it. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Alright, so Genji's here. We pushed Fortify pretty late on that one. We had it, right? Yeah, we pushed Fortify really late on that one. He got 2 full stabs in on us before we actually used Fortify, so he's already done the bulk of the damage at that point. He doesn't manage to seal the deal, so hey, you know, it ends up being fine, but ideally you use Fortify before you've taken the bulk of the damage. McCree's using Deadeye behind us. Oh, he timed it out! Oh, Jesus Christ! So much drama, so much suspense. Oh my god. Oh god, he's coming right for us. I gotta watch it one more time. Oh god, oh Deadeye. Oh no, get him away. Oh god, oh Jesus, oh. Okay, oh Jesus, alright, like 12 people are clustering around us at that point, but oh my god, at least the McCree didn't get us. Oh god. So much drama, oh god. Alright, so we died. Oh no, how terrible. You know, people were overextending and died to like Dragon Blade, so, you know, we don't have to take that one too harshly on ourselves, because things were already going pretty badly by that point. I'm not too keen to do this. Like, you know, with the benefit of being able to push pause and look at the fucking timeline, this is probably going to work. I wouldn't do this just because it has such an extremely low chance of working. Got to shoot Anna in the ass for a while there, but she's on to us now. And we all got bullied around right there. I wouldn't have done that. Like, we know this is going to work in hindsight because we can see the timeline, but I wouldn't have done that. It's an extremely low chance of working. And doing stuff like that on tanks specifically is bad because you end up feeding a lot more ult charge doing that comparatively to if you're playing a DPS or a support. It's still bad to do that kind of thing as support and DPS generally, but if you do it and you die, you only feed 200 health of ult charge to the enemy team as opposed to like 400 or 500 or 600, or if you're Roadhog or Winston, you know, 900, 1500, you know, somewhere in that region. Winston actually can get away with that stuff a lot more freely because Primal Ray, sometimes you manage to just push them all off, you know. So, you know, they had a lever, made things hard. To be honest with you, like, the only thing that, like, stood out in that game super hard was, like, bongo placement. The one happening in this play of the game was worse, just, like, leaving it out in the middle of nowhere like that. As well as putting it down pretty much after we'd already won the team fight. To be fair, that one, someone died right as we put the bongo down, so we'll not be so hard on it, but it was still, like, looking good already by that point. But, you know, the bongo, if you think to yourself, I'm not sure, and you just put the bongo down to be sure, I'm never going to be particularly upset at that one, really. The bongo is one of those ultimates where you can just kind of throw it down to be sure, and, like, no one's going to be too upset as long as you didn't do it, like, 6v5 or something, you know? Or not 6v5, like 6v1 or something, you know? No one's going to be 6v5. Could definitely still go either way at that point. And then the first one, it was more just like placement-wise, reading the way the team fight was likely to go. Using the bongo is one of those things where you kind of want you kind of try and read how the team fight's likely to go in the near future, because if you put it down, if you don't think about where the enemy team is likely to get pushed, because as soon as you put the bongo down, they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to try and push on you really hard, or they're going to fall back away from it because they don't want to be fighting in it, right, if they can't get to it. So you got to kind of read, like, are they likely to go hard on me, or are they going to fall back? And if they're going to go hard on you, you know, try and protect the bongo. Sometimes just putting the bongo down draws enough aggro, stuff like that. This is the more common thing, but if you think they're gonna back up, you've got to think where they're gonna go, because if they line of sight the bongo, you're all kind of ended up doing nothing. This doesn't matter so much if you're playing a more long-range team. Like where we put it earlier, if we had a team that was more like, at the time, if it was like Hanzo Soldier. It doesn't matter so much because the team doesn't need to get so close to the bad men, because then you can put the bongo around the corner and the people can see around the corner while still getting the effect of the bongo. But if you have to physically go around the corner, do I have my translucent hand? Ooh, my green screen doesn't work too well. Then it ends up being sadder. That's not the thing that stood out the most. You mentioned dying and halt in the email. Let me just look at the email real quick, trying to work on two things right now. One is staying alive in spots where I definitely should live, and two is trying to get more value out of my orbs and not just yeeting them off cooldown. Like, yeeting them off cooldown isn't necessarily that bad, really, as long as you're doing it with intentionality still, right? Like, just pushing the button for the sake of pushing the button is, like, not good with most abilities, but, like, you end up doing that a fair bit while you're, like, in neutral with Orisa, because a lot of that is just, like, when you're, like, in the poking and prodding phases early on, then a lot of that is just, like, throwing halt above their shield and trying to yank them up, because then people like Widow, Ashe, Roadhog, Soldier, McCree, you know, they get to, like, shoot into that. Roadhog and Ashe, they get to throw their abilities into it. Widow Hanzo, they get to try and, like, get picks off of that, you know? It's not bad to do that on cooldown, because what else are you doing, right? Like, you're in, like, the neutral phase, poking, prodding back at each other. You want to hold halt for more intentional uses if you're playing against flankers like Reaper, Doomfist, McCree, and McCree. Genji, Tracer. McCree is not a flanker. Please don't go playing McCree as a flanker. Then you maybe want to hold it to try and peel for your backline. But even then, your backline might not need you to peel for them, because your backline might be something like Moira Lucio, right? And then, like, Moira Lucio, McCree, Mei. You know, your team doesn't really need you to peel for them at that point. They're extremely survivable by themselves. So even if they have flankers, you might not care, and you might just use halt to try and, like, pull them over the shield and poke them at that point, because, yeah, your team is, like, probably going to be fine with that kind of comp. So, as long as you have a reason to be doing it off cooldown, then that's fine. You know, just kind of, like, chucking it into a mess of people, like, for the sake of it. You know, as long as you're planning to do something with it, even if it's just, like, pull them over shield and poke with them, that's good enough a lot of the time. And this game I don't feel like was a super great example for the, like, dying where you should have lived, because I didn't really feel like many of those deaths were particularly undeserved, or particularly deserved, rather, is a better way to put that. Like, we didn't do anything, like, particularly ridiculous, you know? There were a few points where we're, like, standing too far up, but, like, parts of, like, a few of those instances were because our teammates were standing too far up. Like, oh, they're standing up there. It's big sigh. Go stand up here, too. Yeah. I'm trying to think of, like, which one was, like, the most shouldn't have died moment. It was probably the one right at the end. This might just be, like, it was the last thing I saw, so it was the thing that stands out the most in my mind, but, like, going out there to, like, touch that for the sake of it was, like, the worst one, probably. Because, like, early on we died when we were, like, too far up, but our teammates died, and, like, we could have tried to back up, but we probably still died regardless, because retreating on Route 66 takes a long time. I can't really think of any deaths that were like, oh god, definitely shouldn't have died there kind of situations. You know, this was a game where the enemy team had a lever, so it might not be the best example of that, you know. I would encourage you to send in another game that didn't have a lever on it, you know, has a little bit more to and fro on it, because ideally, you know, it's a really close game that you ended up losing, because those are the games where it's most likely you could have changed the outcome. Or like a game that, if it was close either way, it's kind of fine, but ideally it's a close game that you lost. But sometimes those are hard to come by in Overwatch, aren't they? You know, sometimes we're like, alright, I'm gonna play some Overwatch today, and you get crushed 8 times in a row, you know? Such is life. Anyway, yeah, so, Jesus Christ, rambling nonsense. So thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord, ask questions more directly, and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. Start streaming on Twitch, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 p.m. EST till midnight EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.